So good day everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So for this day we are going to discuss about the operations of integers. So how are we going to add integer, subtract integers, divide integers and multiply integers. I hope you have to enjoy and watch the video and you can gain some tips and techniques on how to operate the operations on integers. Good day everyone, so welcome to our YouTube channel. So our lesson for today is all about operations on integers. So as we all know that there are four fundamental operations in mathematics. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So first, let's now have a definition of integers. Some basic definitions. So first we have natural numbers are the counting numbers. Examples, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those numbers are counting numbers or natural numbers. How about whole numbers? Whole numbers are the set of natural numbers with 0 included. So meaning from counting numbers or natural numbers, we are going to add only 0. So we start 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Integers are the set of all whole numbers and their opposites. So we have here our whole numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the opposite of 0 is 0. The opposite of 1 is negative 1. So the opposite of 2 is negative 2. So these are the very important definitions. Let's now have addition of integers. Example, consider the addition 3 plus 2. So we can illustrate the addition using hollow dots for positive numbers. So we have 3 dots, hollow dots, plus 2 is equal to 5. We conceptually understand the gathering up of like items to find the total. Consider the addition negative 3 plus negative 2. Similarly, we can illustrate the addition using solid dots for negative numbers. If our negative 3 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 5 because they have the same solid dots. We again conceptually understand the gathering up of like items to find the total. So if you have the same sign, you just add immediately, then affix the sign. But what does 3 plus negative 2 mean? How can we illustrate addition of integers? So if they are not the same sign, we will again use dots to illustrate the addition. Let a positive number be represented by a hollow dot and a negative number be represented by a solid dot. A solid dot and a hollow dot are opposites and therefore when joined annul each other. Consider the addition 3 plus negative 2. So we have here, we can illustrate the addition using solid and hollow dots. So we have 3 hollow dots plus negative 2 which is the solid. So they are going to annul each other. So the remaining is hollow dot which is 1. So therefore 3 plus negative 2 is equal to 1. Now consider the addition negative 3 plus 2. Again illustrate the addition using solid and hollow dots. So 3, negative 3 plus 2, they are going to join each other. So they annul. So it means the solid dot is negative 1. To recap, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, same sign addends. Negative 3 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 5. So they are the first two examples, same sign addends. How about 3 plus negative 2 equals 1? Different sign addends. Negative 3 plus 2 is equal to negative 1. Can we describe a general rule for adding integers? We see two cases, same sign addends and different sign addends. So addition of integers, when the addends have the same sign, add the absolute value of the addends. The sign of the sum will be the common sign of the addends. So when the addends have different signs, take the absolute value of the addends, take the smaller from the larger absolute value. The sign of the sum will be same as the sign of the addend with larger absolute value. So when addends have the same sign, add the numbers and keep the sign. When the addends have different signs, draw a takeaway and keep the sign of the larger number. We can also use the number line and direction arrows to illustrate addition of integers. Let a positive number be represented by a facing arrow and a right facing arrow, and a negative number be represented by left facing. So we have positive going to the right, negative going to the left. So model the addition 3 plus 2 using the number line to find the sum. So we have here, start at 0 and draw the line first, add in 3. So going to the right, 1, 2, 3. From where the first arrow ends, draw the second adding 2, positive. So since it ends at 3 plus 2, so where the second arrow ends is the sum. So the sum is 5. How about negative 3 plus negative 2 using the number line to find the sum? Start at 0 and do the first addend. So 0, then negative 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3. From where the first arrow ends, draw the second addend, negative 2. So 1, 2. Therefore, the answer is negative 5, where the second arrow ends is the sum. For 3 plus negative 2, using the number line to find the sum, we have 1, 2, 3. So start at 0 and do the first addend, 3 positive. From where the first arrow ends, draw the second and since negative 2, 1, 2, 3, at the end, you go back 2 to the left. So therefore, where the second arrow ends is the sum, that is positive 1. How about negative 3 plus 2 using the number line to find the sum? So we have 0, 1, 2, 3. Start at 0 and do the first addend, which is negative 3. From where the first arrow ends, draw the second addend 2, since positive 2 or plus 2. So you go back to the right, 1, 2. So the answer is negative 1, where the second arrow ends is the sum. Model the addition negative 5 plus 3 using the number line to find the sum. So how about negative 5 plus 3? Start at 0 and do the first addend. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because negative facing left. Since positive 3, you go back 3. 1, 2, 3. So draw the second addend 3. Therefore, the answer is negative 2. How about 5 plus negative 3? Using the solid and hollow dots. So we have, okay, they annul each other. The remaining is 2 hollow, which is positive 2. So for your practice problems on handout, find the sum of the following integers. Okay, number 1, 5 plus negative 10. Number 2, negative 7 plus 5. Number 3, negative 4 plus negative 6. 4, negative 10 plus 13. 5, negative 24 plus 10. Okay, let's check your answers. For number 1, what is your answer? Number 2, 3, 4, 5. So for number 1, okay, we have negative 5. Number 2, negative 7 plus 5, negative 2. Number 3, negative 4 plus negative 6 is equal to negative 10 because they have the same sign. So you just add immediately, fix the sign. Negative 10 plus 13 is positive 3. Negative 24 plus 10 is equal to negative 14. So I hope you know already how to add integers. So let's now have subtraction of integers. So let's have example. Consider the subtraction 3 minus 2. So subtraction is defined to be adding the opposite. The answer can be thought of as what is left when 2 is taken away from 3. We can illustrate subtraction of integers using both dots and arrows, keeping in mind that subtraction is the opposite operation of addition. Consider subtraction 3 minus 2. Again, 2 is taken away. So you have 3 hollow dots minus 2. Okay, the answer is equal to 1. So we want to take away 2 from the minuend. We conceptually understand the taking away of like items to find the difference. So if they are the same item or like item, you are going to take away. Consider the subtraction negative 3 minus negative 2, in which negative 2 is taken away. So we have here negative is represented by solid dots. So we have negative 3 minus negative 2. So negative 2 is taken away. The answer is the remaining 1, which is the solid dot negative 1. So we want to take away negative 2 from the minuend. We again conceptually understand the taking away of like items to find the difference. Consider another takeaway model to illustrate the subtraction 2 minus 3. So we have here 2 minus 3. But in order to take away 3, I need 3 to begin with. So we have again, so since we have 3 positive, to take away the 3, it should be negative. They have a pair for negative. So for example here, 3, it is paired with another solid dots so that it will be annulled or collapse. So now take away 3 if they are opposite. So 2 minus 3, okay, since negative, it will collapse. So the remaining is 1 solid dot. We are left with negative 1. Therefore, 2 minus 3 is equal to negative 1. The previous takeaway model can be simplified. We change subtraction to adding the opposite. So again, subtraction is also adding the opposite. For example, 2 minus 3, this is the same as 2 plus negative 3. So minus sign will be changed into positive and positive 3 will change into negative. Now that we are adding, just insert the 3 solid dots. So we have 2 plus negative 3. Again, they will combine and collapse or annul. So the remaining is 1 solid dot. We are left with negative 1. Therefore, 2 minus 3 is equal to negative 1, or 2 plus negative 3 is equal to negative 1. Use the definition of subtraction to illustrate subtraction negative 2 minus 3. So negative 2 minus 3, change subtraction to adding the opposite. Insert 3 solid dots. So again, negative 2 minus 3 is the same as minus change into plus and positive 3 change into negative. So we have here, insert 3 solid dots because 3 here becomes negative. So negative 2 plus negative 3, they have the same item. What are you going to do is to combine. So how many solid dots? All in all, we have 5. Therefore, the answer is negative 5. So negative 2 minus 3 or negative 2 plus negative 3 is equal to negative 5. Use the definition of subtraction to subtract 2 minus negative 3. So the same procedure, we are going to add the opposite. So we have here 2 minus negative 3 is the same as minus change into plus, negative change into positive. So that is 2 plus positive 3. Just insert 3 hollow dots, add the opposite of negative 3. So we have here 2 becomes 2 plus 3. Of course, we are left with 5 hollow dots, that is positive 5. 2 minus negative 3 is the same as 2 plus positive 3, which is equal to 5. So we have here the rule, subtraction of integers. Let a and b be integers. Then a minus b is equal to a plus negative b. Change subtraction to addition and change the sign of what follows. So we can also use the number line and direction arrows to illustrate subtraction of numbers. Let a positive number be represented by a right-facing arrow and a negative number be represented by a left-facing arrow. So positive goes to the right, negative to the left. The operation of subtraction acts to flip the direction of the number of being subtracted's arrow. So we have here model the subtraction 3 minus 2 using the number line to find the difference. So we have 3 minus 2. Start at 0 under the first addend, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, which is positive going to the right. Since minus 2, from where the first arrow ends, drew the second arrow 2. Remember, subtraction flips the arrow. Since minus, then we have positive, flip the arrow. Since going to the right, it becomes going to the left because of subtraction. So go back to 1, 2. So the answer is 1. Therefore, 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. How about model the subtraction 3 minus negative 2 using the number line to find the difference? So start at 0 and draw the first addend 3, 1, 2, 3, minus negative 2. From where the first arrow ends, draw the second addend negative 2. Since negative, going to the left. But since subtraction, you flip the arrow. Instead of going to the left, it goes to the right. So it becomes 3 plus 2. Okay, it becomes 5. Positive 5. Model subtraction 3, negative 3 minus negative 2 using the number line to find the difference. So start at 0 and do the first addend, negative 3. So we have negative 3, 1, 2, 3. Since negative 2, it should be going to the left. But since subtraction, you flip the arrow going to the right. 1, 2. So therefore, the answer is negative 1. Remember, subtraction flips the arrow. Where the second arrow ends is the difference. So again, we have negative 3 minus negative 2. So we have 1, 2, 3 minus negative 2. Since going to the left because of negative, it flips the arrow into to the right because of subtraction. Model the subtraction negative 3 minus 2 using the number line to find the difference. So we have here negative 3 going to the left, 1, 2, or facing to the left, 3, minus 2. Since 2 is positive, but because of subtraction, since it goes to the right, it flips the arrow into the left. So we have 1, 2. So the answer is negative 5. Again, remember, subtraction flips the arrow. Where the second arrow ends is the difference. Let's now have practice problems on handout. Find the difference of the following integers. For example, or for the given number 1, 5 minus negative 10, or 5 minus quantity negative 10, what is your answer? How about number 2, negative 7 minus 5? Number 3, negative 4 minus negative 6. Number, number 4 is negative 10 minus 13. Number 5 is negative 24 minus 10. So what is your answer? Okay, the answer for number 1 is 5 minus negative 10 is equal to 15. Negative 7 minus 5 is equal to negative 12. Negative 4 minus negative 6 is equal to positive 2. Negative 10 minus 13 is equal to negative 23. And negative 24 minus 10 is equal to negative 34. I hope you know already how to subtract integers. So let's now proceed to multiplication of integers. Consider the multiplication 3 times 2. The answer to the multiplication is how many 3 groups of 2 make. So that is the repeated addition. To model the multiplication 3 times 2 using dots. So we have 3 times 2 represents 3 groups of 2. That is 2 plus 2 plus 2. Remember that our positive represents our hollow dots. That is 2 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, combined. Therefore, 3 times 2 is equal to 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. We conceptually understand the repeated addition of a positive number. Model the multiplication 3 times negative 2 using dots. 3 times negative 2 represents 3 groups of negative 2. So that is negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2. Remember that our negative, it is represented by solid dots. Okay, we have 3 times negative 2, combine negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 6. We conceptually understand the repeated addition of a negative number. But what does negative 3 times 2 mean? What does negative 3 groups of 2 represent? The first factor is the repetition factor. How many times we are repeating the addition? So here we have 3 is the first factor. When that first factor is negative, we can think of repeated addition of the opposite of the second factor. So it is negative 3. So therefore, we are going to multiply 3 times the opposite of positive 2. It becomes negative 2. So we just transpose here to the other side. For example, model the multiplication. Negative 3 times 2 using dots. So negative repetition is repetition of the opposite of the second factor. So we have here Again, 3 times 2, the negative represents the opposite of 2. So that is now negative 3 times 2 is negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 equals negative 6. How about model the multiplication negative 3 times negative 2 using dots? So negative 3 times negative 2 represents negative 3 groups of negative 2. So negative repetition is repetition of the opposite again. If this is negative, so meaning the repetition of what is the opposite of negative 2, it becomes positive. So 3 times positive 2. You just transpose negative 2 here. It becomes positive. So there are 3 times 2. So the answer is 6 because 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. To recap, 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Negative 3 times negative 2 is equal to 6. They are the same sign factors. Meaning, if you are going to multiply the same side, it becomes positive. Here, negative times negative, positive. But if they are not the same, they are different sign factors. Negative 3 times 2, negative times positive, becomes negative 6. 3 times negative 2, they are different. So, therefore, this is negative. Can we describe a general rule for multiplying integers? So we see two cases, same sign factors. When you multiply, if they have the same sign, positive, the answer is positive. If they have different sign factors, the answer is negative. Multiplication of integers, multiply and count the negative signs. Even number of negative signs, result is positive. So what do you mean by even number? Meaning 2, 4, 6, 8, or and others. So meaning when you multiply two numbers, the answer of the two negative sign is always positive. Odd number of negative signs, the result is negative. So meaning if you are going to apply three numbers with negative signs, the answer is always, or the result is always negative. So we will find the product of the following integers. So for number 1, 5 times negative 10, what is the answer? Number 2, negative 7 times 5 or positive 5. Number 3, negative 4 times negative 6. Number 4, negative 10 times 13. 5, negative 24 times 10. 6, negative 2 times negative 2 times 4. Okay, what is your answer for the given practice problems? Okay, the answer here, we have negative 50 for number 1, negative 35, 2, positive 24, negative 130, negative 240, 16. Okay, so we have here negative 2 times negative 2, that is positive. 4 times 4 is 16. So let's now have division of integers. So how are we going to divide integers? Example, consider the division 6 divided by 3. Okay, the answer to the division is if we partition the total number of items, we have 6 into 3 groups, how many items are in each group? So model the division 6 over 3, or 6 is divided by 3 using the partition model. 6 divided by 3, so there are 6 dots, hollow, form 3 groups. How many dots are in each group? So we divide it into 3. Okay, we have 2. Each group we have 2. So what kind of dots? Hollow, so meaning positive. So 6 divided by 3 is equal to positive 2. Example, another example, model the division negative 6 divided by 3 using the partition model. Negative 6 divided by 3, there are 6 dots solid. Okay, because of negative. Form 3 groups. How many dots are in each group? Okay, the answer is 2. What kind of dots? Okay, since the dot is solid, that is negative. Therefore, negative 6 divided by 3 is equal to negative 2. What does 6 over negative 3 mean? Or 6 is divided by negative 3. 6 divided by negative 3, there are 6 dots or hollow. Form negative 3 groups. So the divisor represents the number of groups we will partition the dividend into. So to negatively partition, we will partition the opposite. So we will change the hollow into solid because of the negative 3. So then we are going to form three groups. How many dots are in each group? Okay, the answer is 2. What kind of dots? Solid. That is negative. Therefore, 6 over negative 3 or divided by negative 3 is equal to negative 2. Another example, what does negative 6 is divided by negative 3 mean? Negative 6 divided by negative 3, there are 6 dots solid. We are going to form negative 3 groups since opposite. So to negatively partition, change the negative 6 or the solid into hollow. We will partition the opposite. So form 3 groups. How many dots are in each group? Okay, the answer is 2. What kind of dots? That is hollow or solid? Okay, the answer is hollow. Since hollow, that is positive. So negative 6 over negative 3 or negative 6 divided by negative 3 is equal to positive 2. To recap or recapitulate, when the same sign, two numbers with the same sign, if you divide 6 divided by positive 3 is positive 2. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is positive 2. Meaning they have the same sign, when you divide, the answer is always positive. But if they have different sign factors, negative 6 divided by positive 3, the answer is negative 2. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2, meaning they have different sign factors, the answer is always negative. So can we describe a general rule for dividing integers? So we see two cases, same sign factors, the answer is positive. When you divide different sign factors, the answer is negative. So division of integers, when the dividend and divisor have the same sign, divide the absolute value of the factors, the quotient will be positive. When the dividend and divisors have different signs, divide the absolute value of the factors, the quotient will be negative. Okay, divide and count the negative signs. Even number of negative signs result is positive. So it is the same with multiplication, that if you have to divide two negative numbers, the answer is positive. Add number of negative signs, result is negative. When you divide three numbers with negative sign, the result is negative. Find the quotient of the following integers. So for number 1, negative 10 is divided by positive 5. Number 2, positive 12 is divided by negative 2. Negative 40 divided by negative 8. Negative 27 divided by 3. Negative 24 divided by negative 6. Negative 100 divided by negative 5 divided by negative 4. So what is your answer? So for number 1, what is your answer? Number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the answer for number 1, negative 10 divided by positive 5 is equal to negative 2 because they have different sign factors. 12 divided by negative 2 is negative 6. Negative 40 divided by negative 8, since they have the same sign, the answer is positive 5. How about number 4, negative 27 divided by positive 3? They have different sign, the answer is negative 9. Okay, number 5, negative 24 divided by negative 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4. But since they have the same sign, it becomes positive. For number 6, they are having three numbers. 100 divided by 5 is 20. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Why is it negative? Okay, it is negative because there are how many numbers? 1, 2, 3. There are odd numbers. Since three numbers having negative signs, it becomes negative 5. So I hope you have learned a lot about dividing the division of integers. So for more videos, you can click subscribe on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, or you can post a comment with regards to our video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching about operations on integers. For more videos and mathematics lessons, you can click subscribe on my YouTube channel. Yung hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, please click subscribe. Then you can click the bell button. Then you can post comment below. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy mathematics.